What's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the what's next on the undefeated WBC lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney, whose moment has arrived and he passed the test. Now, he didn't do it without some adversity and without some controversy. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about that right now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a drink of water. So, the controversy, let's look at the adversity first. He was dominating the action. He was outboxing Linares and winning clearly on points. I mean, without question, it might have been 9 rounds to 1, might have been 8 rounds to 2. At the very best, you could argue 7-3 after 10 rounds. But in the 10th round, towards the end of the round, about 19, 20 seconds left in that area, he got caught very badly with a right hand and almost went down. Staggered and had to wobble, kind of stagger back to his corner. And then in the 11th, he still came out groggy and did not look good. And he had to hold on for dear life. And I didn't like the holding. The 11th and the 12th round, for the most part, he went at Linares to hold him. Now, I've been saying it. I don't mind if a guy is pressing you after he's hurt you, or either you're hurt or you're tired and you want to hold on. If he comes in and you just grab him once he's coming in at you, I don't mind that. But when you are going to him to grab him, I do mind that, and the referee should be taking points away and warning for holding in that scenario. Referee didn't do any of that. He allowed Haney to get away with it for 2 rounds. It was pretty bad, too. And if the referee warns him or takes a point, Haney stops doing it, leaves himself open, and Linares is allowed to tee off, and maybe he finishes Haney. Maybe he doesn't, though. We'll never know. Haney got the clear-cut decision, retained his championship, and I will say he passed his test for me. He did very well, but fights go 12 rounds. And when you have controversy like that, it does affect the fight. It does affect people's thoughts and outcomes of the fight, especially when you don't knock your opponent out. So, that is going to be, it's not a ringing controversy like, oh my God, Linares got robbed. Not like that. But it was controversial, and it is something to look at moving forward. But he did pass the test. He is on the legitimate lightweight level. I said if he beats a legitimate top 10 guy, Linares was a top 5 guy. He will get into the top 10. And he's not only in my top 10, he's in my top 5. He's number 4 now. So, now the big question is, what's next for Devin Haney following that victory over Jorge Linares? So we start with, number 1, the undefeated and undisputed champion, Teofimo Lopez. Now, Teofimo Lopez said prior to the fight, and he said after the fight, he wants Devin Haney. He said if Devin Haney prices himself out, they'll go to a purse bid. He wants the WBC to mandate that fight and leave no doubt who the WBC champion is and essentially the undisputed champion. I would love for that fight next. Lopez is fighting George Kambosos on the 19th. Most people feel he's going to win that fight going away. I believe that as well. And if he does, Devin Haney would be a good next target for him. And it would clear up any issues about the WBC title and whether Haney's the real champion or Lopez is the real champion. Which my opinion is that Lopez is the real champion. But that's, neither here nor there. That they can decide that in the ring is the point. So I really hope that is a fight that can be made in the second half of the year between Lopez and Haney, especially if it's ordered by the WBC. Number 2 is Vasily Lomachenko. Another fight that if Lopez and Haney cannot get together, why not fight Lomachenko? There was talks about it already. I did a video on it about a couple months ago about the possibility of these 2 guys locking horns in the second half of the year. That means they've talked. I think after Lomachenko has seen Haney now, he absolutely believes he can beat him. And I think these 2 guys should lock horns. If the fight with Lopez cannot be made. Obviously, the fight with Lopez is bigger for Haney, but because of all the titles and Lopez beat Lomachenko, Lomachenko is not too far behind. It makes a lot of sense. It's a huge name on Haney's resume if he were to beat Lomachenko. So I definitely think if that fight's possible to be made, which I do think it would be, he should go after it. Number 3 is Ryan Garcia. Until Ryan grows some balls and actually wants to fight Devin Haney, and I'm not saying he's afraid to fight Devin Haney, it's just for some reason he's waiting around, and you can call that fear, maybe. I think Ryan's approaching it from the standpoint of like, we're both young, aggressive lions. I want it to be more built up, a bigger fight. Almost like Sugar Ray and Tommy Hearns. Sugar Ray said something when they did that HBO series, Legendary Nights. When he stalled on that fight, he said, I wanted that fight to be juicy to where the people could not wait for that fight to happen. I think that's Ryan Garcia's approach on the Devin Haney fight. I could be wrong. Maybe he is afraid. You know, you can look at it either way. The point is that until Ryan signs on to fight Devin Haney, I'm not going to believe that he's going to fight him because he had the opportunity. He's the interim champion. Haney was the regular or whatever kind of champ. They ordered the fight and Haney backed out. That's what happened. So that sucks. But that's what's going on, and I don't think he's going to fight him anytime soon. Number 5 is I already said Haney was number 4. Number 5 is Gervonta Davis. Not seeing Davis and Haney sharing a ring anytime soon. So I just don't see it. I don't think the promoters are going to get together. I don't think Davis wants to fight. I think Haney would take it though. Number 6 is a rematch with Jorge Linares. Not seeing it. I don't think Haney wants to take that risk. I think he has other bigger fish to fry, like Lopez or Lomachenko are possibilities. So I don't think he goes in this direction unless he absolutely has to, and I don't think he will. Number 7 is Luke Campbell. Campbell, like I said, I believe he's moving up to 140 and going to be fighting there going forward. Haney's going to look at him, and he has a high bar to set. He would have to knock Campbell out in less than 7 rounds, in my opinion, or equal that by knocking him out impressively to equal what Ryan Garcia did. So why take a step back when Haney's already beaten a guy that beat Luke Campbell and Jorge Linares now? So I don't see it. Number 8 is Richard Comey. This is Top Rank working with the Zone. Unless it's a big fight, these two sides aren't going to come together, and I don't think this is a big enough fight. I would love to see it. I just don't think it's a big enough fight, and I think it's a high-risk fight for Haney, who probably has other bigger fights that he could get a little easier. So I'm going to lean towards the no. Number 9 is after Haney at number 8. Comey at number 8. Number 9 is Javier Fortuna. I would love to see this, and I think it is possible if Fortuna beats Jojo Diaz in July. I think it's July. If he beats him in July, he moves forward towards fighting. Haney, because it would technically be like a mandatory number 1 contenders bout. And so if Fortuna gets past that and wins, which it's going to be a good one with him and Jojo Diaz. I don't know if he beats Diaz or Diaz beats him, to be honest. But whoever wins that fight is in a good position to fight for the title in the second half of the year, unless the WBC, which I think they're probably going to do, orders Lopez versus Haney. So I think as a back burner option, I think this is something that Haney would do if he doesn't get the Lopez fight, but I think there's a pretty good chance he's going to get the Lopez fight next, so we'll see. And then number 10 is George Kambosos Jr. Well, if Kambosos becomes a franchise champ by beating Lopez, then there's no rematch clause, which there probably is. I think there's a chance of it, but I'm gonna lean towards a no because I don't see Lopez winning this fight. I don't see Kambosos beating Lopez. Just not. I can't see it at all. So I'm gonna lean towards a no. And that's it on the top 10 right there. So most logical choice, in my opinion, I really think the Lopez and Haney fight is very possible unless one of these guys bitches out. I mean, Lopez has said, and the WBC will follow that. I believe they will, because Lopez is the undisputed champ and he's a big name. And the WBC, as corrupt as they are leaning towards the bigger names right now. They're favoring the name fighters for their world titles. That's what they want. So Lopez is a huge name. He's young, he's flashy, he's exciting. And if Lopez says, hey, make it a mandatory fight with Haney and we'll get it done, I think the fight's going to get done, in my opinion. I really do. I think Eddie Hearn would be down for it. I think Bob Arum would be down for it. Maybe he wouldn't, though. That might be the monkey wrench, is Bob Arum and Lopez's relationship lately. Well, hopefully they can mend that and get this fight made, because it makes a lot of sense. I think Vasily Lomachenko is a possibility for Haney next. If the fight doesn't happen with Lopez, I think that's a very big possibility, because they are already rumored to be talking for later in the year. And I think the third best option for Haney might be Javier Fortuna if he gets by Joseph Diaz. So we just got to wait and see, or Jojo Diaz if he beats Haney, because that's very possible too. So we just got to wait and see what happens. But I think there's some good matchups on the horizon for Devin Haney following the win over Jorge Linares, and we just got to see what happens now. So that's it. That's what's next on Devin Haney. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.